Hello and welcome to my channel, Emily Creates. This is my very first video, yikes, and also I am going to be starting what is probably going to be the biggest creative project I personally have ever done, which is I am creating a entire homebrew campaign world for something like Dungeons and Dragons. Do I have intention to run this? No. But am I here to have a good time? Absolutely. And I hope you have a good time too. So, this first video, all I want to do is talk about what my plans are, what I want to get out of this, just to give you guys maybe some baseline information on what to expect moving forward. So, I actually went ahead and randomized a fantasy world. I'll link the randomizer in the description, but I randomized it, got some base modes, and I just let that inspire me. So that's hopefully going to be a theme you guys see as we move along. But I created this world, I printed it out, I made this map, I painted it. I used watercolor, which I used because I like the extra element of randomness that the watercolor gives. You know, wherever the pigment settles, extra dark, maybe denotes a denser forest, things like that. This is my world, Eterra, and it consists of 9 different countries. So they range from really big sort of like wastelands to city states, things like that. So I'm hoping going through this, creating this journal, I'm going to really break down each and every one of these 9 different countries, their different provinces, who lives there, what's the culture like, all of these things. And while I'm doing it, I want to leave space for collaboration. If I ever were to run this world with players, I always love to invite my players to give me input. So sometimes I'll ask them, you know, what's unique about this place? Tell me some things about this NPC. Just because, as creative as I am, and I like to be, you know, I simply, one person cannot do what a whole group of people can do, and that is the joy and the beauty of a tabletop game like Dungeons and Dragons. You know, I could go and write a novel, but where's the fun? Where's the fun in novel writing? I say because I got a degree in English creative writing. So this is my map. I've made it, and I've also gone ahead and made a map for my very first country that I want to break down. This one, Allelilia, it is sort of your quintessential D&D Lord of the Ring fantasy sort of countryside-esque place. You know, compared to all the other countries, you can see it here on this map. So it's here. You can see how I zoomed in. I have this as my 1 day of travel marker, so that's 24 miles. But I went ahead and made this as my starting point. So in the future, I will be working through building this and hopefully building some of the other countries in my continent, and maybe I'll, you know, release some of that information in a more salient form. I also have been working on provinces. So the breakdown of my journal is going to be an overview of Eterra as a world, and then breaking down a country and breaking it down into provinces. So again, I'm not going to go into super detail. I'm not going to really be building encounters in this. It's really just about figuring out the culture, the people who live there, the economy, things, you know, those fun nitty gritty things that you need in order to have a fully fleshed out world. And the great part is, you know, a lot of this is going to be coming from my head. I love feedback and ideas. If you have any ideas, throw them in the comments. But the generator I use also generated some of the actual country names and specifically sort of the types of government they had. I've tweaked some of them, but others, they're going to be sort of the base point. So I have a highly religious country that is sort of like a Holy Roman Empire-esque thing, but they're, sort of a more aggressively religious country in this world. I have a Commonwealth, which is going to be sort of like an alliance of different city-states that live in like a really harsh environment. I have one like very secluded like mountain zone that I'm planning on maybe having that be like the surface entry point for an Underdark world. So really there's a lot to play with, a lot that this randomizer gave me. So again, I totally recommend it, and it's going to be the basis for a lot of things. But that brings us to the second part of this, which is I'm making a journal. It's like nearly 200 pages, so if I fill it up, I'm gonna feel real proud of myself there. Basically, when I'm done using this as a reference, I use it to help print out and create my more detailed maps. So, for example, I just scanned this on my computer, blew it up, printed it out, traced it on a watercolor, did my watercolor, did that again to get the province, and that's been working really well so far. So I'm going to keep this just in case I need it. I don't want to glue it in yet, but I'm thinking it's going to go right here on this opening, and then I'm going to have the world name, and probably the very first date that I created this. And so, good stuff. So the way I want to set up this journal is, I'm really excited. It has built in already, I just got this at Michael's, a page so that I can create an index. I'm not going to, this is probably going to be the last thing I fill out, honestly, because the way that I'm working through it, I don't know at which page, which, country will be, things like that, breaking down cities and stuff like that. I don't know where it's going to end up, so this is going to be the last thing I touch once I have everything else completed. But we're going to start right here. So if you want to see me actually go through my journal, I'm going to be starting again with just one country, this country right here, and we're going to break down everything from their patron deity, major landmarks, cities, provinces, who lives there, what specialized thing do they sell, what's their relationship with other countries, all the sort of nitty-gritty, nerdy stuff you gotta figure out. I'm also going to be posting videos of me making some of these maps, so if you're interested in how I make these maps, how I paint these maps, then look forward to those. Those probably won't have any voiceover. They'll just be some nice, over music, making art videos. But other than that, welcome to my campaign, and welcome to my dream campaign journal. So this is something I hope will last me moving forward. Other times that I've tried to DM homebrew worlds in D&D, I struggled really badly. I struggled because I put off sort of this, because this is hard and time consuming, and I don't think you need to nail everything down. I don't think you need to go into this much detail to have a good homebrew world. But for me as a DM, not having an idea at least of like the very first country, like having that, or even the very first province where they are, having that really fleshed out and with locations and things, it was difficult, to say the least. And so I don't think that my players had the absolute best immersive experience that they could have. So hopefully, if I ever do run this, because who knows if I'll run this. I don't plan to. I'm actually running Monster of the Week and Shadowrun right now, so not D&D Fantasy Worlds, but you know what? That's fine. I hope that I get use out of this one day, and if not, maybe some of you guys will be inspired. You'll be able to add some of these things to your homebrew worlds. Otherwise, it's going to be fun. So, thank you for watching. Go ahead, subscribe if you want to see more.